Hey guys, Freddy here. First, an explanation for why my face is so red. About a week ago, I was subbing at a high school, and wouldn't you know it, as soon as I drove up, I saw that there were food trucks in the student parking lot, so I knew it would be one of those days. And so I get there, and they say, oh yeah, we're going to have the students go outside, their food trucks, and they can play on the football field and whatever. And so I was like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? And he said, ooh, you're a substitute, so what you're going to do is you're going to make sure none of the kids drive off, because they'll be tempted to, but it's still a school day, so don't let them drive off. So I was sitting there for 5 hours straight in the direct sunlight, no hat, no sunscreen, no nothing. Thankfully, a few of the kids decided to gather around to listen to me sing, so that broke up the monotony, but still, yeah, not a fun day. And kids all week have been asking me, hey, are you okay? Your face is really red. Yeah, I'm okay, except it hurts, but I'm doing a lot better. So that's an explanation for that. Anyways, why were there food trucks in the parking lot? It's because it was the end of the year. And with the end of the year comes testing. So, what are you going to do whenever tests come along? And I'm not necessarily going to talk about end-of-year tests. I'm going to talk about, like, regular run-of-the-mill, see what you know, see what we need to reteach kind of tests. But end-of-the-year tests are pretty important, too. First thing I'm going to say is take them seriously. Like, don't just goof off the night before and, act like nothing's going to happen, because it's still a test. It's the end of the year test. Your entire grade rides on what you know. You may not make it to the next grade if you don't take it seriously. You may have to retake the entire test if you get a low enough grade. And that's just thinking about you. If you don't care about you, I can't make you do that. But what I will tell you is it's not just about you. Your teachers' entire livelihoods are riding on what you make on your tests as well. Because if enough people do poorly on them, they might not be back the next year. And well, you might say, oh, but I don't like that teacher. They're, the worst teacher ever. Listen, I get that. I've had teachers like that. But don't wish them so poorly that you hope that they're unemployed. Or even worse, unemployable. So, doing well on your end-of-year tests is not only nice to you, makes you look good, it makes your teachers look good as well. So, take it seriously. So now that you're taking it seriously, what are you going to do? Well, you study the night before. Ask your teachers, like the week or two beforehand, what kind of things they think are going to be on the test. And study those things. Commit them to memory. Acrostics are great for this. Like, I know the acrostic for stroke symptoms is FAST. F for face, look at their face. A for arms, have them hold their arms out in front like that. S for speech, so ask them to say something 50-50 Mama Huckleberry, and T for time. If they are showing symptoms, time's running out. So if you can make an acrostic out of the things you're studying, awesome. If it's math, then memorize those equations. If it's science, then memorize like acrostics and stuff. If you put it in song form, then that will also work. I remember back in college, there was one poem I had to memorize, and it had the same beat as I Knew You Were Trouble by Taylor Swift. So when it asked me, what's this poem? I was like, oh yeah, it's this poem because it's the same one that's got that meter. A lot of third grade teachers that I work with in one district, they set the multiplication to different tunes. Like your 3 times tables, they set to Jingle Bells. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So if there's anything you can set to song form, go for it. And it doesn't have to be Jingle Bells. Like they set their 6 tables to This Land Is Your Land by Woody Guthrie. So, yeah. I've also heard that chewing the same flavor of gum while studying and chewing the same flavor of gum while testing is also helpful. That being said, if your school does not allow chewing gum, forget that. I remember one year of subbing, they did have to break up a black market chewing gum ring. So, yeah. And furthermore, study with your friends. Doesn't even have to be your friends. Just study with your classmates, regardless of how much you hate them, and regardless how much they hate you. You're going to take this test together, so study with them. And that way, you can build each other up. Like I can remember 10th grade, I had 5 classes apiece with the 2 people I loathed the very most. I didn't care. I wanted someone to study with. They wanted to study with me, and I was like, okay, at least you're not bullying me for my faith this time. So, yeah. Study with other people. And don't be like me in 9th grade. 9th grade, we had to test over Romeo and Juliet, and I was like study buddies with a friend of mine from camp, and I was just asking him these like super, like, who cares kind of details, like, what were the 2 priests' names? No one cares about the 2 priests' names. They played little role in Romeo and Juliet. Neither did Romeo's cousin, for that matter. But I ended up getting a perfect score. The guy I was studying with failed because I was focusing on the wrong things. Focus on the big things. Like I can remember biology EOC was like question number 1 was, what do you call the smallest living organism? A cell. Of course, that biology test, 4 of my classmates ended up making perfect scores on it. Couple final things. Firstly, do not cheat. 2 times out of 3, you will get caught. If you copy off someone, teacher's gonna notice. If you have like a cell phones are banned anyway, teacher's gonna notice. If you print the answers on a water bottle, the teacher is gonna notice you looking at the water bottle. Do not cheat. Take it seriously because you will get caught 2 times out of 3. And even if you don't get caught, it is gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. Especially the older you get, the more advanced degrees you get, if you cheat, it is gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. You will never be able to go back and undo it. You're never gonna be able to change the fact that you cheated. So don't. And on top of that, you don't know nearly as much as you say you do. So if you get in a situation where you're gonna need some of this knowledge, congratulations, you played yourself. Not my words, but still, you played yourself. So yeah, do not cheat. And the other thing to note is, if you have a teacher who you do not like, if you have a teacher you do not agree with, if you have a teacher who you cannot stand, take the test anyway. Because it will come back on you. 12th grade, we had a teacher. He's passed away now. But this teacher was a biology teacher. Had a bunch of multiple choice questions and then one big long math problem at the very end. If you did not solve that math problem perfectly, most you could get was a 76%, I think. So there was 1 hour that just completely boycotted the test and turned in a bunch of blank papers. That teacher got called to the principal's office, got in some trouble. Those kids still got a 0 though. A and B students still got a 0 on their final exam. Doesn't matter how much you like the teacher, how much the teacher likes you. Doesn't matter how little the teacher has taught. Doesn't matter how you disagree with the grading system. I'll admit, that was a very stupid grading system. Doesn't matter. That teacher hated me probably more than he hated any other student. Long story, had something to do with the fact that I'm a Christian, he was an atheist. I got a 95 on that. I tried, because regardless of how little he liked me, regardless of how little I liked him, regardless of how much I thought that having a big math problem that was worth 30% of your grade was, I took the test. Because I knew that if I didn't, it would come back on me. And I know that regardless of the mutual disrespect that we had for each other, disrespect's the wrong word, animosity, because there was absolutely respect. And that was proven by the fact that I took the test like he wanted to. So, with that being said, good luck on any test that you take. Teachers, I'm in your corner, rooting for you. Kids, I'm rooting for you too. Get a good night's sleep the night before. Eat some healthy food, apples, oranges, wheat bread, not white bread. And learn a lot. And do your best. And don't cheat. And remember that you're not doing this for you. Not just you. You're doing this for your teachers too. So, good luck out there. And if you don't follow any of this advice, it's going to haunt you. And you're going to regret it. Don't do anything you'll regret.